Welcome to Louisville Now. This is the educational portion of the program. We're going to talk to a friend of mine, and I do mean that, a friend of mine, Jake Medley, who is with the Mayor's Office of Sustainability. We are friends, aren't we, Jake?
We are friends. We go back. I met John working for the Economic Development Department. You came on a few years back, and I remember stumbling in your office and seeing all these U of L helmets.
It
everywhere.
really upset you too, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm a UK fan, so we had to learn how to be friends, right?
Yes, we did. We had to learn how to be friends.
Cordially.
And now you're going to educate me, Jake. So I'm looking forward to this. The Office of Sustainability. You're with the Green Economy. Okay, so tell me what you do.
Yeah, thank you, John. So I joined the Sustainability Office in February of 2024, and my formal title is Green Economy Analyst, and that's a big, comprehensive, sweeping title that covers all kinds of things, a lot of business engagement, but really I manage our programmatic efforts, including Solarize Louisville, Cool Roof, that kind of stuff. So it's a fancy title, but I'm just a sustainability guy.
All right. I'm going to talk about Solarize Louisville because, alternative forms of energy, and I don't want to get political here, but for some reason they've kind of gone out of favor to talk about that. But to me, solar energy still is the answer to a lot of our issues, global warming, et cetera, keeping our city cooler. Talk a little bit about the importance of Solarize Louisville.
So Solarize Louisville, it does a lot of different things at the same time. I think in life, we always like whatever it is, a program, a solution that can solve a few things at once. And so that's what I consider Solarize Louisville to be. It helps the environment. We know that solar panels, solar energy is clean. It's not emitting crap into the environment and breaking down the ozone, which we know for fact. But while it does that and you're doing something altruistic for the community by putting solar panels on your property, you're also saving money long term. Now there's a heftier upfront investment, which is offset by our program and other federal credits. But over a 7 to 10 year period, you're going to see payback on that initial investment. And then your LG&E bill or whoever utility you're paying, that's going to remain low. So you're not only saving money and recouping on that investment, but you're also saving on future spending with the increase in utility bills over time. So you're saving money in a couple different ways, and you're helping the environment, and frankly, they look cool.
Oh, yeah, they do look cool. And I've been in a few houses that use solar energy, and they work very, very well. In fact, I think maybe 30 years ago, we thought, okay, a lot of kinks to work out. Now it seems to me it's a really smooth running, very efficient program. Solarize Louisville. So you mentioned something, you got everyone's attention with saving money.
Yeah.
So it's not only offered by the city, but also by the state, maybe federal government. Tell me how many different ways they can save money, Jake.
Yeah, so our program, this is the 4th year it's been running. And the sweet part of the program is that we offer end installation. You're getting 15 to 18% off on that end sticker price. So that's a discount. A few years back, 2022, the Congress passed the Inflation Reduction Act, and that has provided a residential clean energy credit up to 30% depending on tax liability. So if you can stack those our discount and the credits together, there are also additional credits if you're in an area near an old coal closure, which is more pertinent for folks who are living in rural areas. But that's up to half off on a system that might be the price of a car, price of a used car even these days. So that's kind of how I like to contrast it to that type of investment. But the thing is about a cars depreciate. You don't see any of that money back. This solar system, it'll kick you that money back, John.
Oh yeah, it does. It kicks that money back. So from what I understand, Jake, and clarify here, there is a window right now to where you can save money. So if you're thinking about changing over to solar, and we suggest you do so, talk about this window of time we have to save substantial money.
Yeah, the time is now. Our program, we will be extended. So we had an initial deadline, and you just have to sign up. You just have to sign your interest. This isn't making a deal by September 15th. But as long as you sign up through our site, that's solarizelouisville.com, solarizelouisville.com, just put your name in the form. If you do that by September 15th, you'll have to the end of the year to get that 15 to 18% discount. Now, the federal credits, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which was signed into law on July 4th, Independence Day, that has put an official timetable on those federal credits at 30%. Those end officially on December 31st. And you have to have your system in service running, all the bells and whistles. So after that, that goes away. So that's a real incentive for homeowners if you're interested in solar energy, you're interested in having the conversation, go ahead and sign up so you can potentially realize that opportunity.
If you would, Jake, talk a little bit about, I think some people are leery because of change of stuff, but talk a little bit about the fact that solar energy, it can be stored even if it's cloudy or whatever. Talk about how that works, because I think it's a fascinating conversation over dinner. It's like, let's talk solar energy.
Yeah.
So tell me some of the interesting points.
So solar is you're working off. You have your technology on your roof, and then the sun feeds into it. And there are some technicalities that make it all work, but the panels absorb the sunlight, and then that powers your home up to a certain capacity, and it kind of is it's a pendulum as to you will only use energy when you need it, and then the energy is passed through into your connection point with LG&E, and then after a certain amount of energy you create, you sell it back to the utility. And but there are battery storage systems that if you wanted to just have your own energy reservoir to pull from, you can invest in that too. But there is kind of a dance with LG&E. If you get solar energy, your LG&E bill is still going to come every month. We pay electricity and gas. Right. So, but the electricity portion, that is offset pretty significantly. I know that there are systems that 50% of, solar doesn't offset the entirety of your bill, but anywhere from 50 to 70% or more of your electricity costs. And so the average bill, I believe, LG&E is $190 something these days. That's right around what I pay. And you're looking at bills as low as, $50 or lower. So that's significant savings. And so, but yeah, the panels capture the energy. There's a converter that actually converts that solar power into the energy that allows you to flip the switch on. And then there is a law in the state that it limits your ability to generate so much, but the utility buys that back. Okay. And you're working with your utility. You're not off the grid is what I'm trying to say. You're actually still very much in contact and working with LG&E, our utility provider.
Jake Medley, thank you for the information. Solarize Louisville, for more information, where would they go? Is there a website?
Yeah, solarizelouisville.com. It's solarizelouisville.com. You can also just get on louisvilleky.gov and go to the sustainability page. We have all kinds of programs. We have a solar program. If you're not ready for solar, some people aren't ready for solar. Some people aren't even, solar's not for them just based on the circumstances of their roof. We have a roofing program called Cool Roof Program.
Oh my God.
That will,
You've got it all.
We got it all. We got it all. So just reach out to us. SolarizeLouisville.com.
All right, Jake Medley, thank you so much. I appreciate the sun so much more than I did prior to the interview. All right, coming up here, you hear a lot about Dosker Manor on the news. We're going to give you some details on what you need to know. Living here in Louisville on Louisville Now.
Enjoy 7 acres of international music, cuisine, and culture at Louisville's 23rd Annual World Fest. The 4-day event will feature a parade of cultures, 3 stages of entertainment, and more than 150 international vendors with merchandise, art, food, and beverages. All in a global village highlighting cultures from around the world. And best of all, it's family-friendly and free for all ages. Take in all the sights, sounds, and activities in the heart of downtown at Louisville's scenic Belvedere overlooking the riverfront. World Fest will take place Labor Day weekend 2025, running from Friday, August 29th to Monday, September 1st. So come on out and explore the rich and vibrant mix of nationalities that help make Louisville one of our nation's most diverse cities.
Copper wire theft is robbing us of our safety. Thieves are targeting our essential infrastructure, darkening roadways, disrupting emergency services, shutting down internet networks, and causing over $1 million in damages just last year. Copper wire theft is illegal. Mayor Craig Greenberg's Copper Wire Theft Task Force is getting results, but your help is needed. If you see something suspicious, call Crime Stoppers at 502-582-CLUE. You could get a $5,000 reward. Welcome back to Louisville Now. I'm talking with the Executive Director of the Louisville Metro Housing Authority. She is Elizabeth Strojan. Elizabeth, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, I had a little tease before you got on with it, and the tease was we're going to talk about Dosker Manor.
Okay, always.
Because always is exactly right. To me, it's a good story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positive things happening. So for folks who aren't familiar, give us a little bit of history on Dosker Manor and
Sure.
where it stands today.
Absolutely. Dosker Manor was built in the 1960s as a retirement community for elderly folks in Louisville. So we have about 655 units that were originally designed for low-income seniors to move into and enjoy a stable retirement. Over the years, the buildings became in terrible shape. We disinvested in public housing in this country, meaning we didn't have enough money, enough resources to keep up with the physical conditions of the building. In addition, we were told by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, which we lovingly call HUD, that we needed to move in not only seniors, but also people with disabilities of all ages. So over time, the population at Dosker started to change. We also, in the year 2017, 2018, started moving in people straight off the streets, straight from homelessness into Dosker. And everybody can be safely and stably housed, but what we neglected to do was to bring in the level of services needed to keep people where they were and to keep things in good shape. So what we've seen over time is the physical conditions declining and increasingly vulnerable population. So when I came into this role about 1.5 years ago, I took a look at things from roof to basement. We got assessments for what's needed to bring the buildings back into good repair, what we would need to do to secure the properties, and we made the decision, the painful decision, that we needed to demolish those buildings, and we made the good decision to rebuild new housing on the site. So right now, after about 1 year into the relocation effort, we've gone from about 575 residents to about 165 residents. So we built a team at LMHA that's helping to relocate people into better housing situations, to bring them the resources they need to stay stably housed where they are. And we are working with a local development partner called LDG to create plans to demolish the 3 high-rises there and to rebuild housing for families and seniors on the Dosker Manor site, as well as the First Link site across the street. So I agree with you that at this point, it's a good story. We're saving that site for permanently affordable housing so that people with low incomes have access to downtown, to the hospitals, to Nulu. It's a great place to be, but we have to get people out of there. It's not in good shape right now, and we have to rebuild something better.
Yeah, I have to commend you, Elizabeth, because when Dosker Manor comes up, the story was not good in the beginning. In fact, it seemed to be a real, to me, a burr in the side or for Mayor Greenberg. Mm-hmm. And you came in and made a positive difference. But I think first and foremost, and it seems to be a theme on the show, you have to identify a problem.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, solutions, how do we get there? Where you are, Dosker Manor, and it does sound like this is getting better and better. How do you feel about the outcome that you're now achieving?
I feel in many ways good. I think we made the right decision. We worked with so many people here locally, across the country, our partners at HUD, to come to that decision. We didn't make it in a vacuum. So I feel good about what we've decided to do. I feel good about the relocation effort. We have a lot of people who have moved from Dosker into our other properties. And we do something in our other properties called Coffee and Conversations, where we bring people who have relocated from Dosker and we check in on how they're doing. We make sure they're getting access to resources they need in their new homes. And every time I go to something like that, or every time I run into a former Dosker resident in one of our other properties, they're so grateful and they're so happy. And they're also just so much more calm. Like moving out of a place where it's just constantly stressful. There's constantly overstimulation. Moving somewhere calm just makes everybody better off. So I feel good about that in some ways. I really wish we could move faster. So in terms of government, in terms of housing, we're moving at like the speed of light. But in terms of humanity, I feel like I wish we could just go faster.
Well, your heart's in the right place, but you also have the acuity to be able to move in the direction you need to go to get there eventually, and you're getting there. You should feel good about that.
Thank you.
I hope you do.
Thank you. And I'll tell the team, they're working hard every day.
There we go. Parkway Place.
Parkway Place.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
Tell folks a little bit about what that project includes.
Sure. So Parkway Place is our last family barrack-style public housing development in Louisville. It's in the Park Hill, Algonquin neighborhood. We have about 1,200 residents and over 600 units there. And unlike Dosker, which is a high-rise, Parkway Place is, two-story barrack-style buildings across many, many acres. And that property is also not in great shape physically. We have a lot of families, a lot of kids in that site. And so we need to do something better, something different there. So our focus right now at Parkway Place is stabilizing the property, doing everything that we can to ensure the safety and security of the people there, to ensure that their units are decent. But also, we've kicked off a year-long planning process to plan a better future at Parkway Place, which is often called Park Hill. So a lot of times when I call it Parkway Place, people say, do you mean Park Hill? So we'll call it Park Hill. So at Park Hill, we're doing a year-long planning process. 2 weeks ago, we gave surveys to residents, and about a third of all households at Parkway Place responded to the survey. They told us what they like, what they need, what they don't like, what they want to see changed. So we are crunching numbers now to figure out what are residents telling us that they want to see as the future of Parkway. We'll continue to have resident engagement events. We'll continue to stabilize the property, but in about a year's time, we should have a pretty solid plan for the future of Parkway. Sometimes people say, when are you going to tear down Parkway? And I say, I don't know that we're going to tear it down. We have to figure out what's needed physically, what the residents want to see, et cetera. So we're working on that now.
Housing issues, affordable housing, is not unique to Louisville. It's
Right.
all over the country. So when you talk to your peers, Elizabeth, how does Louisville fit into the overall picture? Or you think positive change obviously is happening? You mentioned it wasn't going at the pace you would like it to. You'd like to escalate things and make it happen quicker. But where do you see us as far as similar cities, Nashville, Indianapolis, et cetera?
Well, I think that we are in a great place as a city because we have plans in place to make things better. Mayor Greenberg has his My Louisville Home Plan, which is a plan to build 15,000 new units. He brought me in to clean up LMHA so we can be a leader in the public housing space. And what I've noticed about Louisville is that we are very good about just saying, like, here's our problem, here's where we are, here's where we want to get to, how do we do it? There's not a whole lot standing in the way, except, us getting in our own way sometimes, which happens everywhere. But I think that we are very similarly situated in terms of the gap between the affordable housing that we have and what's needed. What makes us, I think, uniquely good in terms of the national scale is the amount of expertise and just the speed at which we can execute. So I always tell people, I moved here from New York City working in housing issues. What we've been able to accomplish at LMHA in that time would take so much longer in New York because there's so many more people, so many more layers of bureaucracy to get through. So here we're just able to execute more quickly. So I think we're doing great.
I do too. I do. I see a lot of positive change. And because I work for him, obviously I'm a fan of Mayor Greenberg, but what I do like is just what you said. He's a man of action.
Right.
You're a woman of action. You're doing the same thing, making positive change. So thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
it. All right, Elizabeth Strojan, once again. So you're hearing all these positive things going on. We're going to continue that. Coming up here, resource guide. You're saying resource. What do I need? Resource? We'll talk about that, okay? Coming up next on Louisville Now. Copper wire theft is robbing us of our safety. Thieves are targeting our essential infrastructure, darkening roadways, disrupting emergency services, shutting down internet networks, and causing over $1 million in damages just last year. Copper wire theft is illegal. Mayor Craig Greenberg's Copper Wire Theft Task Force is getting results, but your help is needed. If you see something suspicious, call Crime Stoppers at 502-582-CLUE. You could get a $5,000 reward. Welcome back to Louisville Now. Okay, part of this program, or quite a bit of this program, has been educational. You wonder how Metro government works. Tell me about the departments. We're going to talk about the department for the aging and disabled. I want to get that correct, so I'll talk to Allie Woosley. Allie joins me now. You are the director there. Allie, so give me, first of all, it is the mayor's office for the aging and disabled. Is that correct?
So I'm housed under the Office of Social Services. So I'm the Office for Aging and Disabled Citizens, and I reside in the Office of Social Services, which is its own department.
Okay, this is an important department because, we're all getting up there a little bit. Here we go. So, what kind of issues do you cover? Who do you talk to?
So I talk to citizens and also service providers. So on the daily, I take calls from citizens who are aging and they're just looking for access to resources. They don't know where to go or who to turn to for some of the issues they're facing. So maybe it is a program that exists in the Office of Social Services that I can refer them to, or maybe it's with one of our community partners that I have connections with and I can tell them how to apply for that program or who to contact there to get the services they need.
Okay, I could see where this would be valuable for someone who's getting up there in years or disabled or caregivers as well. That's a big part of it too, right?
Yes, I get a lot of calls from adult children who are becoming caregivers for their aging parents and they want to support them in the best way. Sometimes they live out of town, but their loved one lives here in the city, and so they're not able to make those phone calls for them or connect them, and so I'm kind of that bridge for them.
Okay. Well, I'm a director of city partnerships, so I understand the importance of partnerships.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the entities that you deal with and partner up with.
Yeah, so I'm a huge partner with KIPTA. KIPTA is our area agency on aging. They provide some of our access to state level waivers that support older adults in the home. I interact with them daily. I have a strong partnership with the Center for Accessible Living, which is an independent living center. I have strong partnerships within OSS with our senior nutrition program, which provides home delivered meals to homebound seniors, and then our neighborhood places that provide some of the financial supports for our seniors as well.
So here's where you're really going to help us, because a lot of folks may now have challenges due to age or being disabled, and they're going, where do I go? I have no idea. It's a puzzle, and you spend all your time trying to research things and Googling and all that, but you have a guide that's coming up. Fantastic. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I have maintained the Office for Aging and Disabled Citizens resource guide for about 4 years now. It is an 80-page resource guide that provides a variety of information, some of it general, some of it is the basic information on Medicare or where to go for Medicaid, some of it is our local police divisions where they might need that information, it's caregiving companies, it's our senior nutrition program, it's vision resources, it's veterans resources, it's really everything. So anyone can be in it as long as they provide a service to our seniors and disabled citizens. They can apply to be in it via the link at the very front of the page. Our most recent edition has a few changes. We're trying to make it more accessible. We've added an index at the end to make it easier to find some of the information people are looking for, but we update it every 6 months and we just want to keep it growing and living and accurate. But it just really, even if you're not needing the resources right now, but you want to live in the city of Louisville as long as possible, it's a really good document to have.
Yeah, you make a good point there, because I would think even if, you never know what's going to happen as you move forward, and you're starting to get up there and you want to get ahead of things and be proactive. Perhaps you genetically, maybe you're inclined to get certain diseases or challenges, and you want to make sure, hey, I know where to go. So if someone needs this resource guide, how would they go about getting one?
So if you find yourself being tech savvy and you want to look at it online, the links do work. They take you right to the websites. So you can go to louisvilleky.gov. You can search in the search bar Office for Aging and Disabled Citizens. Our webpage will come up. It's linked on that webpage multiple times. If you feel like you want a paper copy, you can call me, 502-574-5092, and give me your name and address, and I'll put one in the mail for you.
I would think that for you and your team, it has to be really rewarding, because helping out people who really, are somewhat lost in how to, and not to their detriment. I'm not,
Right.
because it's tough
Right.
for all of us to find
Yeah.
resources, but it has to be rewarding when someone's looking for an answer and you can give it to them.
Correct. Or I can tell the person the name of who runs the program, give them a warmer handoff. I do a lot of tabling events and outreach as well. So getting to have those conversations with individuals at the table or at an event, meet them where they are. Some people make phone calls all day and feel like they get nowhere. So I really like and enjoy meeting them in person and having that conversation.
That's a nice little attribute to have for the job. Good.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay. So now I want to talk a little bit about here on Metro TV. We're proud of some of the products we put in. And you're going to have a new show, or your department's going to have a new show,
Yes.
right? Tell me about it.
Yes, so the department is 2 people. I do aging services, and then my coworker Greg Willett is the disability and access coordinator. So we together are working on a program called DICE, which is Disability, Inclusion, Culture, and Education. And we're going to go around the city and highlight locations that are inclusive or adaptive in places that people with disabilities can visit in the city. So we're excited about it.
How is the accessibility here in Louisville, and as far as you can see, compared to other cities? Are we pretty high on the grade there, or no? Need more work?
I think there's always room for improvement everywhere you go. I think I work with some really great community partners who are working on that daily. We've had conversations already with Danny Wimmer Presents about their events and festivals and how to make them more inclusive and accessible. They're doing some really great work. We have a connection with the parks already. We're a large city, so I think, as always, you have to revisit places, and I think some of our newer locations are great, but some older locations could use some work just because things get worn down, time happens. You know, Greg, my coworker, uses a mobility device, and so for him, sometimes he has to keep that device working, and if there's, you know, a grade drop off or our sidewalks are not great, that's not accessible for him because he doesn't want to break his very expensive device that he uses for mobility. So I think there's just always room to grow, but we are working on it, and we've got great people in the city that are really passionate about it, and so I know we're doing the right thing.
Allie, for those who are watching Louisville now and they couldn't grab a pencil fast enough,
Yeah.
so I don't mean to be repetitive, but
Yeah.
again, this resource guide, I think a lot of folks could use that, and it would be very helpful. So how do they get a hold of it once again?
Okay, so you can go to the website, louisvilleky.gov, search Office for Aging and Disabled Citizens, and there'll be a link on the webpage, or you can call me, 502-574-5092.
All right. Again, thank you so much for what you and your team does. Is there anybody you'd like to mention out there who's really been helpful for you?
Just, you know, Greg, my coworker, he's been on board for about 6 months. Previously, it was just me. I did disability and aging, and we just found that we were really missing the younger population. We weren't engaging with them because they assumed by the title of the office that you had to be aging and disabled. So by adding him to the team, we've been able to expand our horizons and interact with more groups and really help those younger adults or maybe parents that have a disabled child who are looking for access to resources.
Allie Woosley. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Did I get it right, Woosley?
Yeah, Woosley, yes.
Okay. Allie, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
All right. Once again, we thank you for watching Louisville Now. Tell your family and friends about it. New show coming up. And as we said, we'll keep you informed. Just keep watching Louisville Now on Metro TV.